Option for the poor, it's one of our important Holy Cross core values, and it's also one of the pillars of Catholic social teaching. One thing that often comes to mind when I think of Option for the Poor is a scripture verse from Job, and it's that the Lord hears the cry of the poor. And I think that we're all called to echo that in a sense too, of hearing the cry of the poor. And I think when we hear poor, it's what do people have access to? It's how do we look at the people and the people around us that have a lack of access to their spiritual life, to food, to healthcare, to transportation, to good education, and that list goes on and on. But how do we have eyes of faith that help us see where there are needs in the community?
The Bible teaches us to care about the marginalized, and so does Blessed Basil Moreau. When he started some of the first schools, they were to educate the poor in France.
Cathedral students can get involved in Option of the Poor by participating in clubs like Champions Together, which is a club that partners with Special Olympics Indiana to participate in unified sports seasons like basketball, bowling, bocce, track. This is really important to me because I am the president of the club solely for the reason that I love being around individuals with special needs. They just mean a lot to me. And this club really inspired my future career of special education. So it truly has a special place in my heart.
I think living out Option for the Poor is at the very heart of living our Christian faith. I think it goes with our call to love God and love our neighbor. In Matthew, in the Gospel of Matthew, we see that we're called to see everyone like Christ. So when we look at those that are less fortunate than us, how do we have those eyes of faith of how can I help, or how can I go, and how can I use my gifts to help those people around me? And I think that's why Option for the Poor is so important to our education and our formation here at Cathedral.